We have landing spots, so we're doing a Dynasty rookie mock draft, 4 rounds. We're here. We got the landing spots. The NFL draft's coming to an end. It's not quite at the end, but it's I think the 7th round is just about to start. Yeah, we're at the last pick of the 6th round, so we decided we need to get in here and do
a mock draft. When they start drafting kickers, there was like 3 kickers there in the 6th round that went.
Yeah, seriously. So we're doing it. We got real landing spots for the first time that we're doing one of these for 4 rounds. So, Dad, you can kick us off. Who's your 101?
Yeah. Super flex.
Yes, this is a super flex. Good.
Super flex Dynasty. Caleb Williams, man. Why not?
Yes, this is a super flex. We'll say non-tight end premium. So, yeah, I agree with that. Nothing to talk about there. I'm going to go Jaden Daniels at the 102. Goes to Washington. Still think this could happen in drafts, so happy to get Jaden Daniels there. So where are you going? You're up at the 103.
Yeah, this is – my mind is telling me one thing, but I think I need to go Mr. Drake May.
Wow, 3 straight quarterbacks, huh?
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean,
somehow I can't draft him.
Yeah, I have to do it for you.
Oh, okay. There you go.
There you go. Drake May, quarterback 1, 2, and 3 off the board. I mean, it probably won't happen this way. I assume Marvin Harrison's going to go either 2nd or 3rd, but that's how valuable quarterbacks. What if the first 3 teams desperately need quarterbacks? So maybe they go 1, 2, 3 with May and McCarthy. I think it's interesting, or May and Daniels. I think McCarthy versus May is an interesting conversation, though. McCarthy going to the Vikings, obviously. So, anyways, you're at the 105 now. Are you sticking with quarterbacks, wide receiver? What are you doing?
Wow, I don't like, man. I'm gonna stick with quarterback and go with JJ.
Yeah. Again, I mean, super flex. It's hard to pass up. First time we've ever seen 6 quarterbacks in the first round, and it was 6 of them in the top 12. It wasn't even just the first round. McCarthy, you can argue, has the best landing spot, better than Caleb Williams, better than Jaden Daniels, Drake May, definitely at 2nd at worst. So, would you be surprised if he steps in day 1 and he's, maybe he's putting up decent numbers? Like I wouldn't at all. So
you got JJ chucking the ball to JJ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, well, I just stole that from television. I heard them. They were talking to Kevin O'Connell on the NFL Network. So
yeah.
So I can't take credit for it.
It just shows you again, like even if you have the 108, 109, you're going to get some good picks, as you'll see. Malik Neighbors going at the 106. He could go as high as the 104, I think. If it goes Caleb, Marvin, Jaden, and then if someone wants a receiver, and Malik Neighbors maybe at the 104. So the fact that you can get him at the 106 is pretty nice. And it's pretty realistic, in my opinion, that happens. But again, I could see him going as high as the 104. We've talked a lot about these guys, so we'll kind of keep it going. The 107, who you taking there?
Yeah, I think I don't like his landing spot, of course, but Neighbors. The guy, he's kind of neck and neck with Marvin Harrison. I know everybody has had Marvin Harrison jammed down their throat, so that's what a lot of people are going to stick with. And Marvin Harrison and then Kyler Murray should hook up pretty good. So Neighbors, do we say that about Malik Neighbors and Daniel Jones? Maybe not, but still.
Yeah. Which direction you going? I took Neighbors at 6.
Oh, Neighbors. Yeah, Adunze. Yeah.
Yeah, Dunze, I know a lot of people are going to be a little bit turned off because he went to the Bears, but That didn't really bump him down. He's always been in this range, 106, 107, 108. I think he could be in 2025. He could be the best receiver on that team, and he's paired with Caleb Williams for the next at least 5 years or so. So, Keenan Allen's there, DJ Moore's there. Maybe temper expectations year one. I still think he can produce in year one as well. It's interesting. We talked about it between Neighbors and Adunze. I much prefer Neighbors with a quarterback that, to me personally, is a below average passer, because I think Neighbors can create more on his own. Adunze is slightly more dependent on a quarterback getting him the ball. So I like the landing spots for both these guys. I do. Coming up here, I know a lot of people are not going to like it, but it's, again, we keep saying it's super flex. I'm taking Bo Nix.
What?
Yep, he's going to the.
I would have taken him. I would have taken him at 9.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's Denver. He's top 12 quarterback. We need to stop pretending, us casual, whether you're casual or not, that we can evaluate quarterbacks, because we can't.
Right.
The NFL can't even evaluate quarterbacks. Look at how many bust. So, can Bo Nix bust? Yeah, for sure. Can he be good? Yeah, because we don't know how to evaluate quarterbacks. Just look at the NFL's hit rate on them. It's very low, right? It's not very low, but it's still, even the experts are like 50-50 first round picks and stuff. So I'm going to take a chance on him. If I hit, he's more valuable potentially than Adunze or something, or the guys that are going to go after him, potentially. We don't know what Adunze is going to be, but even if Bo Nix is QB 15 every year, unless Adunze is like a top 7-8 receiver, Bo Nix is more valuable as QB 15. So in a super
flex. No, I get it. This is where he should go. 7, 8, 9, 10.
He's probably going to fall though.
No,
I think there will be several drafts where someone gets him late first round, like 11, 12 or something. I think so, but where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going off the highway and on the dirt road and going Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
I think, you know, and I know, they already got a tight end, but this guy is going to let Michael Mayers is a traditional tight end. Brock Bowers lines up everywhere.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be a genius or a scout to figure that out. Just watch some of his game tape and game cut-ups and clips and stuff like that. And dude is lining up everywhere.
Yeah.
Inside, outside, the slot, backfield, So, and how many teams run, what is it? 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends. So if you want to, you got to give the Raiders, you got to give them a little credit, even though they haven't proved it yet, that they're going to figure out how to get this guy the ball and get him on the field.
Yeah. I mean, he could just be their big slot player, and he'll line up in line and stuff. But you're just banking on talent. It's not the best spot that we wanted, especially for year one. But Devontae Adams could be off that team after this year, and you're looking at Bowers as the number one guy. Like just bet on the talent there. So tight end premium, he goes higher. I'll go Xavier Worthy. I've been a Worthy guy since day one. He gets the first round draft capital. He goes to the Chiefs, which that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be good. Just think of Mecole Hardman and Sky Moore, who were both high second round picks.
Yeah.
They didn't develop into shit. So
I forgot about Sky Moore. Yeah.
And so just because he's on the Chiefs doesn't mean, oh my gosh, he's with Andy Reid. Well, what's the excuse for? But I just think Worthy's good. Like, I've kind of always wanted to put him as my wide receiver 4. Was a little bit worried, was he going to fall to the second round? But he didn't. First round draft capital. I'll take Worthy there all day. So you're back up. Where are you going?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go Ricky Pearsall.
Okay.
I like him to the 49ers.
Yeah.
We know, something's going to happen with the Ayuk situation. He's probably going to play this year, but so I think
Just fine.
Pearsall is, yeah.
Yeah, he's the first round receiver to the 49ers. If they're all there, maybe don't get much from 2024, but you know what offense you're going to. This team supports multiple options. All of them were, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, McCaffrey. All these guys were tops at their position. Yeah, I like that pick for sure. I thought you were going to go somewhere else, either one of the two that I'm deciding between now.
Yeah, I was close, probably. I know what you're...
I want to go... Go ahead.
Yeah, I just kind of went off slight track a little bit.
Not really. I mean, we're still talking about a first-round receiver. I guess I'll lean Brian Thomas. Goes to Jacksonville. I'm actually not the biggest Brian Thomas fan, but he goes into a good spot. Easily could be the wide receiver 1 or 1B next to Christian Kirk. Should be with a good quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. So he's in a really nice situation, and I think he has a pretty safe floor in terms of how he's going to produce. So Brian Thomas, first round pick. There's only 2 more first round picks, but I have a couple guys ranked over both those 2 first round picks. So we'll see where you go with your next pick at the 201.
Yeah, I think I want to go Penix.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that either.
Yeah, I draft him in the second round. I know it's 2-1, maybe a little early, but we'll see. I think when the guy gets a chance to play, it's probably gonna be pretty good. So,
yeah, and that could be in a couple years. That could be next year if someone gets hurt. There's rumors that like a lot of I don't know if it's true or not, if it's the Falcons saving face or something, but a lot of people saying the Saints, the Raiders, the Broncos all wanted to trade out for Penix. I think that if that's true, that kind of shows you how good Penix was. Like people thought of him as a top 10 pick, not just the Falcons. So, and I'd have to imagine it's not just the Falcons that think of him as like a top 10 pick. So yeah, I mean, we could be talking about in 2 years, looking back and being like, oh, Ricky Pearsall, remember him? He didn't turn into anything.
Right.
Brian Thomas is kind of a bust. He was like a Gabe Davis, similar type of production. And then you look at it like, oh yeah, Michael Penix, people are getting him in the second round. So I agree with you. I think he's an early second round pick. There's probably a couple guys I'd take over him. One of them being Lad McConkey, who I'm going to take. Goes to the Chargers. They traded up a couple picks. Early second round pick. I think his ceiling is not, this top 12 receiver necessarily. Maybe top 12, but like he's not going to be like, 1,500 yards. I think he's like a Julian Edelman kind of player, probably faster, more athletic. I don't think the Chargers offense is going to produce like 1,500-yard receivers. I don't think. But I also don't think they're going to be picking very high. I think they're going to be a good team year after year. They're not going to they're going to prioritize offensive line, defensive linemen, a little bit more. So I can see him just kind of being like the number one guy for the next few years. There's going to be a couple other guys there, but no like alpha Jamar Chase like receiver. So I'll take McConkey there, and I'm happy with that pick. So you are back up, still a first-round pick on the board, which is crazy. We're in the middle, with the 203, and there's still a first-round pick. Still a lot of high second-round picks. Where are you going with your
yeah, I'm gonna go Worthy. No, he's already picked. Sorry, no, I want to go Xavier Legette.
Yeah. That's the last first round pick.
Yeah.
14 of them. Goes to Carolina. Are you worried about that spot in Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they got to get better at some point. So hopefully there's some improvement there, and yeah, I'm kind of worried about it.
Yeah, I believe in the head coach and him turning around. Bryce Young a little bit, like having him be productive, and Xavier Legette. I just did the same thing. Xavier Legette has one of the highest ceilings in this draft class, more than Worthy, more than Pearsall, more than Brian Thomas, more than McConkey, right? Besides those top three guys, I think Worthy, keep calling him Worthy now. I think Legette has the highest ceiling. It's just the floor is also pretty low in my opinion. So, but fantasy football, you gotta take chances. You don't play to get second place. That's for sure. I'll go Keon Coleman. Not the biggest Keon Coleman fan, but again, like, what was he? 33rd overall pick, first pick of the second round. Goes to the Bills. Could easily be their wide receiver one. I mean, you have Shakir, Curtis Samuel, Dalton Kincaid. He could easily be their number one target and wide receiver one. And, you're pairing him with Josh Allen. So I'll go Keon Coleman there. I'm happy with that. Yeah. Even though, again, I'm not the biggest Keon Coleman fan. So you are back up.
He's got a chance. He's got a chance to produce. That ESPN update that I did in silence on my phone was the Chargers drafted Brendan Rice.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
We'll see. Seventh round, man. That's crazy.
My turn.
So you're up. Yep, you are up at the 205.
We're gonna go with Mr. Jonathan Brooks, a running back.
That was my next pick. First running back off the board. He probably goes higher. People always need running backs, right? So he gets to the Panthers. They traded up to get him. I'm trying to remember or double check. 46th overall. So do you expect him starter week one?
Yeah, they said there was a update last night when they drafted him that they're expecting him to be recovered from an ACL. So, if you don't, I kind of figure we see a lot of young players. They don't show up until about halfway through the season or something. September, October, they kind of don't know what the hell's going on, but then like November 1st, some of these guys, they start making it happen. So that could be the case here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders is not anyone to be afraid of, and the current coaching staff, those aren't their guys. So I'll go Jalen Polk here. Goes to the Patriots. Is their first, they pair him. Patriots built around Drake May in this draft. Like, they drafted multiple receivers, offensive linemen, which is the smart thing to do. Build up your offense around your rookie quarterback. So, Jalen Polk, I don't expect a whole lot year one. He's probably at best, I kind of see him as like a top 24, top 30 receiver kind of guy. Like maybe he hits, but it's a wide open receiver room. They drafted a couple. They have Demario Douglas, Juju, Kendrick Bourne, but to me, it's wide open. And I'll take a chance on, a 37th overall pick who I've, liked. I don't love, but I like in the draft process, and he could be the best receiver easily on that team. So, you're back up.
Yeah, I think we were all kind of scratching our head why A.D. Mitchell fell in the real draft, and I guess it kind of came out and said he had some not so good team meetings. So we're not sure what that means. If the guy's got an attitude, I don't know. But anyway, I'm picking him in the fantasy draft. Got a chance to work into the Colts wide receiver rotation and make something happen.
Yeah. He's probably comes in as their number 2. Yeah.
Seems that way, yeah.
You have Michael Pittman and not much. Like, they don't have a stud tight end. They have Josh Downs there. We still don't know what he is exactly. Alec Pierce is just, A.D. Mitchell's coming in and taking over Alec Pierce's spot. So I don't think it's going to be Pittman and A.D. Mitchell out there when there's only 2 wide receivers, in my opinion. So, yeah, I like it. I mean, you have Anthony Richardson, but it's funny is like we saw very limited games from Richardson, obviously, but one of the games, and I'm just double checking this, one of the games he played in, he threw the ball 37 times his first game.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're not going to throw it. They probably don't want to throw it that much, but they could if they wanted to. So, yeah, I like that pick. I'll go the second running back, Trey Benson. He's goes to the Cardinals. He's a third-round pick, actually. So very early third round, 66th overall. So 2 picks into the third round. Yeah, James Conner's there. James Conner's guaranteed to miss 3 or 4 games. And I expect Benson to be the guy in 2025. And this offense could be really good. Talk about Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, now Trey Benson. Like, this could be a really good offense, especially if they keep adding to it in 2025. So I'll take Benson. He was kind of my RB1, and I think he can be an every down guy here. So I'm happy to get that at the 208.
Okay, I'm going to go with, and I wish I knew, I'd be doing my homework. The Commanders depth chart, see who their tight end is now, but I'm going to draft Ben Sinnott.
Yeah, their depth chart is not really there. Like, in terms of the I don't even know. They don't have Logan Thomas anymore. I know that.
No, I know he went away, but
that's Zach Ertz. I didn't.
Okay. Well, maybe
you want to take that back.
Change my mind, but that's all right.
No, go ahead. Take someone else. Plus, Team 9 already has Bowers. So.
I was gonna reach and go for Roman Wilson.
No, that's not. I don't think that's a reach.
Well, I think he's gonna. Steelers didn't have a whole bunch of wide receivers there, so I think there's a good chance for him to play early, and
yeah,
he's fast. He's 4'3", like 4'3", or he's 6 foot, so I think he should end up used to playing. He played in Michigan, so he can play in the Pittsburgh weather and all that other stuff. So
it wouldn't shock me. Do I think it's likely? No, it wouldn't shock me if he leads this team in targets. I'm not saying he's going to be better than George Pickens for numbers wise or fantasy wise, but leads the team in targets. Like George Pickens, he's great. He had 1,100. He only had 106 targets. It's not like he was this huge target hog. So it wouldn't shock me. And there's one guy I had before Roman Wilson. Like, if you would have taken this guy I would have taken Roman Wilson next. So I definitely don't think it's a reach. We're at that point now. We're in the third round of the NFL draft. I think Ben Sinnott is the last pick, of the second round guys. You can kind of reach a little bit now, you can kind of reach a little bit. So the percentage of guys that turn out once you start getting into the late third, fourth round is very low already. Go with the guys you believe in, So, but the guy I would have taken before Roman Wilson, this is more because I just really like him, is Troy Franklin. He fell to day 3, which I didn't love. Thought he would be a day 2 guy, but he's a 4th round pick, early 4th round, and he's reunited with Bo Nix, his college quarterback. He's on the Broncos, and they have Cortland Sutton and Marvin Mims, Tim Patrick, guys like that. Like, Troy Franklin can step in. You know, he has the connection with Bo Nix, and he could be the number one target there. So I still like Troy Franklin. I still believe in him. So I'm still going to take him at the end of the second round. And I think he'll be there in a lot of rookie drafts. So,
yeah, I think he's going to get ignored, and people who know who he is are going to scoop him up at a good point.
Yep.
So I'm going to stick with the Michigan theme, and I'm going to go with Blake Corum.
Yep. You like the Rams 83rd overall? You like that landing spot?
Yeah, I think we know Kyrie Williams is there. He missed a few games last year. You know, they also signed their second string running back, but I think, you know, in the long run, it's you know, Blake's going to he's going to get into the rotation.
Yeah. Yeah, and Rams obviously liked him. It's not like they needed a running back, but they took him. And if he ever gets the opportunity, even if it's for a half a season next year or 5-6 games, he's going to put up numbers because he's in a perfect offensive system. Yeah, like just look at what Kyron Williams was doing. Look what Cam Akers did 2 years ago at the end of the year. Look what Todd Gurley was doing. You know, that's Sean McVay. He has a good offense. His number one running backs, he feeds them the ball, and they do well. So I know a lot of people are not going to like where he went, but again, you know, we're the biggest knock on Kyron, who was a 5th-round pick. The biggest knock on him was he is light. He's like under 200 pounds, and he can get injured. And he got injured last year. It's easy to forget that, but he did.
Yeah, he missed a few. I mean, he was fantasy-wise, you know, he kind of you know, him and awesome. Both, they kind of caught us by surprise, and they were laying some points down, though, early in the year.
100%. He was awesome. He was awesome. I'll go the other running back that was drafted about 5 picks after him. Another guy I really liked, Marshawn Lloyd out of USC. He goes to Green Bay, so not the best spot that I was hoping for him, but 2 things. I think he's automatically better than A.J. Dillon. I think he's the RB2. I don't think I don't know why Sleeper is lagging, but hopefully you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. I don't know what's going on with Sleeper here.
Says you're on the clear. There we go.
Okay, so Marshawn Lloyd, I think he instantly is better than A.J. Dillon, and he's their RB2. Josh Jacobs, I know he got this contract. I went and actually looked at it. It's a 1-year contract, essentially. They can get out of it after year 1. Now, will they? I don't know, but they have an out after this year. And it's either that or they're paying him 11, 14, 15 million. So there's a good chance that they just like use him for a year and then move on. Or Josh Jacobs is whatever. A lot can happen in 1 year. So I'll take Marshawn Lloyd. I like the talent. I think he's the RB2, and we'll see beyond that.
Okay, so
we're in the 3rd round already.
Yeah, I might have to take because I know a little more about him than the other guy, Malachi Corley. So,
yep, like that. That was my next pick. So,
yeah, he's Mr. Yards after catch.
Yeah.
So. Just get the ball to him and in a short, kind of throw the ball out to the sideline and let him do his thing. I guess he did that a lot in college, and I don't know as much about Jermaine Burton. He's the Alabama guy, isn't he? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Malachi is. Yeah, he's the yak guy. He can do it all. He's going to get the manufactured touches, the jet sweeps, the bubble screens and reverses, maybe even line up in the backfield. I think he was I might be confusing with someone else. He might have played running back for a bit, but he's awesome. The question is he Rondo Moore or is he closer to Debo, right? Is he Laviska Shenault or is he Debo, right? So
Is he
Um,
Tavon Austin or somebody else?
yeah, exactly. Like we get a lot, we do get these guys that come out, but I like the landing spot. Like it's Garrett Wilson. I think he complements him well. So yeah, that guy, he was my next pick. I'll go Jalen McMillan next. Been drafting him a lot, kind of in this range. He goes in the third round. At the end of the third round, 92nd overall to the Buccaneers. So I don't expect much from year one. We're at the point, we're in the third round now. Like, how much do you expect these guys to produce? We'll see. I think he steps in, he plays the slot. We'll see Godwin where he's at beyond 2024, but I'll take a shot on Jalen McMillan, just a player I like. So you are back up.
Yeah, I'm looking for. I'll take. Let me see. Where are we at here? Running backs. Oh, I want Jalen Wright.
That was my next pick.
Going to Miami, just because he went to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, very good speed, easy to break it. Miami's running back situation. Okay, well, we all know about A-Chain, but A-Chain's a smaller guy. He looked great when he had the ball. He got injured last year. They re-signed Mostert. Mostert's on the north side of 30 years old. So Miami Dolphins, they know how to run the ball. Mike, what's the coach name?
Daniel.
Yeah, I was going to call him Mike McDonald, but that's Seattle. Yeah, McDaniel, they know how to run the ball. I mean, I think Jalen Wright will fit really well here.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to hate that landing spot. I kind of agree with you. I don't mind it. He was my next one here, so I think he should kind of be going in this range still.
Yeah, you mean hate it like it's too early?
No, I'm saying hate Miami, the landing spot for Miami for him, just because of Achane and Mostert, right? So they're thinking, he's not going to get to play, which is possible year one. They're going to rotate running backs. He's very explosive. Achane, like you said, was injured several times last year. Mostert's like 32 years old. And if he is playing for Miami, just think of what Achane and Mostert did last year, right? Mostert was their RB2 last year. Achane was explosive, and he was still a top 20 running back last year and limited.
I think
that could be Jalen Wright.
I think he's a big boy, like 210.
Yeah, he's not small. I mean, he's not huge, but he's not small.
Right, but I mean, usually when you think of a guy with speed, it's a little lighter in the loafers and stuff, but 210 pounds and you got really good speed. I guess first carry of the game versus Alabama, he took it 75 yards. So,
yeah. And that team, their offense really struggled when Achane got hurt. I think that was kind of in their mind as well. They kind of need their running game sets up their passing game to a certain extent. So I think they realize, hey, if Achane goes down, we need someone to replace him. So they found that. I'll go Jermaine Burton, the Alabama receiver, goes to the Bengals in the third round. He's an interesting one. He was strictly a deep threat. He played at Georgia and then Alabama, and he averaged like over 16 yards average depth of target. So he was used as a deep threat guy. At worst, that's what he is in the NFL, like stretches the field for the Bengals, like in the slot. But there's some underlying stuff that shows he can kind of potentially be a little bit more. So I'll be curious. I'll take a chance and, tied to a good team in quarterback. You are up with the 305.
Oh boy. I'm going to go. Okay. Skip that. I'm going to go I'm going to get Luke McCaffrey. You know, he was drafted by the Commanders. This guy started off, this is Christian McCaffrey's brother, started off as a college quarterback and figured out he couldn't throw the ball very well and turned into a wide receiver and turned into a pretty good one. So he was taken, I think, at the 3rd round, wasn't he?
Yeah, 100th. He was the 100th pick, which was in the 3rd round.
Yeah, going to the Commanders. So
Jaden Daniels, new coach, new quarterbacks. You know, we don't know what Jahan Dotson necessarily is yet. McLaurin is surprisingly already getting kind of old. You don't think of him as a old receiver, but he's like 28 years old already. So, yeah, no, I don't mind that. He's super versatile. They could give him some carries. He could be like Curtis Samuel was last year, and Curtis Samuel had some good weeks. So, I'll go Javon Baker, another guy who I wasn't sure how I felt about him, but I'm targeting guys who I see have a chance at being something, as well as guys I like, a little combination of both. He goes in the 4th round, which, you know, there's a couple tight ends that went, 2nd and 3rd round that we haven't drafted. But other than that, we're in the 4th round of the NFL draft. So wide receiver for the Patriots. We just talked about it with Jalen Polk. Just repeat everything for Javon Baker. Now, Jalen Polk has a better chance, in my opinion, because better draft capital, probably a better player, but you can kind of say everything for Javon Baker in terms of, well, who's their wide receivers? Drake May. What if Drake May has a CJ Stroud season? Who's going to be catching the ball? Well, you don't know yet. So I'll go Javon Baker with the chance he turns into a little bit more. You are up.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay with the running backs, and I'm going to go Will Shipley.
Okay. Mr. Will Shipley for the Eagles.
Kind of
like that spot for him?
Kind of a do-it-all type guy. Jack of all trades, master of none, going to the Eagles. I know Saquon and all that other stuff, but, you know, somebody's got to play behind him, and let's see if Will Shipley.
Yeah.
Let's see where he fits.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, whatever about Shipley in terms of the player himself, but no, I mean, he can catch the ball. He can run the ball. Like, maybe they get creative with him, and yeah, we'll see. We will see. Again, we're getting into the point of, I went back and actually looked at draft capital and what it means. And for receivers, it's crazy. Since 2010, receivers drafted since 2010. If you're drafted in day 3, so round 4, 5, 6, or 7, the average percentage of players that turn into something is 3% for wide receivers. Like, it's very, very low for wide receivers. And basically, almost all of those were because of like Stephon Diggs and Tyreek Hill, and now Amon-Ra St. Brown. So it's drops off drastically from 3rd to 4th round. So I'm going to be a little bit heavier in terms of like tight ends, running backs, and stuff like that in this range, especially mid to late 3rd. So I'll go to Ja'Tavion Sanders, the tight end. I think he was the 4th tight end off the board. One of them is a blocking tight end, Tip Raymond from Cardinals. Never even heard of him, to be honest, but apparently he's a blocking guy. Ben Sinnott, you know, who still hasn't been drafted, but 2nd round guy. But anyways, Ja'Tavion Sanders, I think he's the 2nd best receiving tight end. Goes to the Panthers, and they have Tommy Tremble and no one else, so he could easily be their tight end 1. So I'll take a chance. Hopefully I hit on a tight end here. So you are back up.
Okay.
309.
I'm going to go with Bucky Irving.
Yep, that was my next pick.
Yeah, Oregon running back. So pretty productive year at Oregon. Buccaneers, you know. I know Rachaad White is their main guy, but tell me who's the guy after that. So, I mean, that's the way That's the way they played it last year. I know there's somebody there, but he has a chance of getting in there, stepping in there. So and getting some carries.
Mm-hmm. Nope, that was my next pick. He's gonna have a role at the very least. We'll see if it's fantasy relevant, but he reminds me a little bit of like Theo Riddick, the old Lions pass catcher. He's lighter and stuff like that. But Theo Riddick had a couple of seasons there. He had an 80 catch season.
Matt Stafford made him good.
Yeah, I mean, he had a 4-year stretch of 80, 53, 53, 61, and I guarantee you, PPR wise, that's pretty close to a starting running back. So I see that for Bucky Irving.
Yeah, he had a year or two at Notre Dame, Theo Riddick, where he was a wide receiver.
Yeah.
There's some backstory to that. But yeah,
Bucky Irving caught this last year 56 passes in college, which is crazy because everyone talked about Jahmyr Gibbs, his pass catcher. He caught 44 his last year at school. So just to kind of show you his pass catching ability. Yeah, I like that. I like that one. And again, I talked about wide receivers and their draft capital and how it matters for them, and it falls off drastically after the third round. For running backs, if you look at fourth and fifth round running backs, they hit on average of 13% of the time. So that's much better than 3%, right? Like it doesn't sound like much, but it's much better than 3%. So that's why I would be a little bit heavier. I'm going to jump all the way to the sixth round, which may sound a little crazy, but I'm going to go with a guy that I liked when we first watched him all the way back in January or February. Kimani Vidal goes to the Chargers. They got their running back finally. I remember them talking. Yeah, they were saying they were talking to him at the combine. The dude was incredibly productive at Troy, like 4 years. 4 years at Troy. He's a little bit older. He's not spectacular at anything, but the guy was just productive. And who's the RB2 for the Chargers right now? I mean, I guess you can say J.K. Dobbins, but he's coming off of his second major injury, which is an Achilles. Kimani Vidal could be their RB2, and they're going to run that ball a lot. So I'll take Kimani Vidal next.
Yeah, I'm going to go way back, and this is where I'm going to draft a tight end with Ben Sinnott.
You took my pick again. My next one again. Yeah. Second round to the Commanders. So I think, I know we talked about Zach Ertz, but I'm not that worried about Zach Ertz. Like, he's 33 years old and hasn't done much for the last couple of years. So a lot of people really love Ben Sinnott. Like, his explosiveness and athleticism is like off the charts. So I'm interested to see what he is. Is he more of just like a really good football player for your team, or will he develop into kind of a fantasy guy? I'll go next. A running back again, fourth round running back. Ray Davis he went to Buffalo. Older guy again, which is probably why he fell this far, but really good player when you look at him and watch him on tape. Really nice player. So goes to Buffalo, could carve out a role. We'll see. James Cook is there, but who else is beyond that? So I think he comes in as an RB2 at this point, which is kind of what I'm looking for. RB2s who are one injury away from being the starter. So you're back up we're into the fourth round now. I think you might be muted. No?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm just thinking they're trying to...
Yeah, it gets a little thin here.
Trying to pull a rabbit out of a hat. I'm going to go with Braylon Allen there, running back for the Jets. Sorry about that. Big Wisconsin running back.
Yeah. You think he's the RB2 behind Brees?
Yeah, I think he would. He's big guy. I mean, I think he's like 240 or something. So
yeah, he's crazy big.
235, 240. He's north south runner, stuff like that. So I think there's a role for him there with the Jets and stuff, and could slip in behind Brees Hall.
My only issues. So I was in agreement. So again, I'm kind of looking for who's going to come in as like probably the RB2. I think Ray Davis will. I think Bucky Irving will. Kimani Vidal, Braylon Allen. They drafted someone like 2 picks later. I think the Jets did another running back in is it Isaiah Davis? Isaiah Davis out of South Dakota State, I believe, which was a little surprising. It wasn't 2 picks later. I'm sorry. It was 30 picks later. But still, they drafted Braylon Allen in the 4th round and then Isaiah Davis in the 5th round. And plus, Israel Banakanda, a 5th-round pick last year, is still there. So I'm just not sure if even Braylon Allen's the 2nd wide receiver, but he definitely could be. Definitely could be. I'll jump back into the 6th round again. Like, this is where you can do it. Malik Washington, a player that I kind of liked. He's kind of one of those gadget players, maybe slot only, can kind of take the jet sweeps and the bubble screens, kind of like a Malachi Corley. Very surprised he didn't go earlier. Potentially, I thought he would potentially even go day 2. He went in the 6th round. And I'm just double checking here. He went to the Dolphins though. So I like the landing spot. They're going to know how to use him. I think they can use a 3rd option. So you're back up with the 403.
Yeah, I'm going to somebody who was drafted, I think, in the 3rd round. Tez Walker.
Wasn't the 3rd round. He was
4th round.
4th round, yeah. Early 4th round, but yep. To the Ravens.
Do
you like the landing spot or kind of
it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're shooting darts here, right? So
yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. He was kind of like coming into the college season, he was kind of looked upon as like, or like in the middle of the college season, it's like this guy might be like a top 5 wide receiver and stuff. He really fell off. There's a lot of mocks early on that had him 2nd round and stuff like that. Yeah. I think he stretches the field for the Ravens, and we'll see if he develops into anything else. Again, just kind of keeping with the theme of like we're taking shots on running backs, like I know I took a receiver here and there. Receivers are much less likely to hit at this point, but I'll take Isaac Guerendo. Disconnect my mic. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Isaac Guerendo. He got drafted by the 49ers. He's probably the most athletic running back in this draft class. He's like 225, runs like a 4.35, and which doesn't necessarily mean anything. Jumps out of the building and everything, but I could see him. It's obviously McCaffrey's show for another year at least, but who knows if he gets hurt and Guerendo maybe takes over as the RB2. So you are back up.
Yeah, I'm going to go the quarterback route and go with Spencer Rattler.
Took my pick again.
There was a lot of discussion on the NFL Network about the gap between the first 6 and Spencer Rattler, and they thought it was kind of excessive.
Yep.
They actually talked about, he did that Netflix show at 17 years old.
Yep.
I guess that had a big negative effect on people's attitude towards him. It's kind of crazy, you know.
No, it is.
What the hell do you know at 17 years old, you know? And
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like surprised that.
Yeah, I think he goes to a really good spot though. Like
I think so too.
Saints. I mean, it's 5th round, so we're talking about multiple. All these guys are 4th or 5th rounders and or beyond, but goes to the Saints. I think he could be their QB2. He probably should be sitting for probably 2 years, year or two, and who knows? The Saints are always one of those teams that are they're like 9-7 or 9-8 now and stuff like that. So, that was my next pick. So, I'll go with the guy that I've never liked, even before he ran a 4.71 at the combine, but I think his pro day was a little bit better. Audric Estime, just kind of loading up on these running backs. Goes to Denver. Goes to Denver in the 5th round. He's probably RB2 for Denver, right? I mean, is it Jaleel McLaughlin? I don't know. Like if Javonte goes down, I think Audric Estime is going to take the bulk of the carries, and McLaughlin's role is not going to change. So, to me, he's kind of the RB2 potentially for the Broncos. So, and we know Sean Payton usually puts up really nice fantasy points for running back. So, not a big Estime fan, but take a shot. All right, you got the 407. You got 3 more picks for you.
Boy, I don't know squat about them, but 49er running backs sometimes turn out pretty good. So Isaac Guerrero.
Nope, I already took him.
You already took
404, yeah.
Okay.
Guerendo. Isaac Guerendo. If you're looking for running backs, there's a couple guys in the 5th round: Rasheed Allen, Tyrone Tracy, Keelan Robinson.
Yeah. How about Dylan Luby to the Raiders?
Yep, he goes all the way in the 6th round. Super versatile pass catcher. He played at New Hampshire. He's all their entire offense. Raiders are going to want to run the ball. They didn't draft anyone, surprisingly. That was their only running back they took.
Yeah.
All right. I think next on my list here is Tyrone Tracy, converted receiver to running back. He played like 5 or 6 years in college, but he only played 1 year as a running back. Goes to the Giants. We talked about it like when we were doing the live stream. Hey, good spot for a running back is the Giants. It's Devin Singletary, who's a nice running back, but Tracy can maybe add a little bit more explosiveness or something to it. So that's who I'll take at the 408.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Joe Milton.
Okay. Do you expect him to be a quarterback? Do you expect him to be convert to like a tight end, which is a lot of people are expecting?
No, I didn't hear that. So I think his arm is too good to be a tight end. So
just kind of hope he becomes the QB2 behind May and
yeah.
All right, I'll take a tight end here, all the way back up of the 4th round, early 4th round. Theo Johnson, the Giants. A lot of people talk about Theo Johnson, how Penn State just didn't use him at all, and they should have, and that he's probably the most athletic tight end in this entire draft class, including Brock Bowers. So
we don't know what the hell's going on with Waller,
Yeah, exactly. So maybe they hit on something, and who knows. So, last pick for you. We have.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Rasheen Ali wasn't drafted, was he?
Yeah, he was. Rasheen Ali was to the Ravens in the 5th round.
No, I know, but I mean in our fantasy.
Oh,
No.
no.
I'm going to take him.
Okay. Yep.
Go play behind Derrick Henry.
Yep. They don't really have. They have Keaton Mitchell, but he's going to come off a major injury, so he might be missing the beginning. So yeah. Last pick here. I'll throw a dart at a receiver, a guy who a lot of people thought was going to go day 2. I'm not a fan of him, but I have to recognize that a lot of people thought he would go day 2. Johnny Wilson goes to the Eagles in round 6, I believe it is, which is kind of amazing. That every mock I saw, I don't think I saw him outside of like the 3rd round, or majority of mocks. He goes all the way in the 6th round, goes to the Eagles. So obviously it's a crowded receiver room, but he has something that not many receivers have in general, and that's his size. So, do they convert him to a tight end? I don't know. But again, I'll take a shot on a guy that has something unique in this range. So there you have it. That's the 4 round. Finally, we get some real landing spots. We'll probably do a couple more of these. I know most people will be doing drafts in May, so we'll kind of put these out. Maybe 2 or 3 more. Still some guys that you potentially get in like free agency. Jacob Cowing's a nice little receiver. Goes to the 49ers. We'll see Isaiah Davis. Could be the RB2 for the Jets. A couple tight ends there like Jared Wiley. A lot of people the player comp to him is like Kelsey, and the Chiefs got him in the 4th round. Not saying he's going to be like Kelsey, but he plays like Kelsey. And Brendan Rice, maybe, I don't know, 7th round pick, probably not going to happen. But any last words there?
No.
A lot of talent.
Yeah, there's seems like a lot of stuff, a lot of players.
Yeah, it's just, we talk about some of these guys like, Jalen Wright and Jalen McMillan, Corley. You're talking about like in the 2nd round and stuff, and now they're falling to the 3rd round, or Braylon Allen in the 4th round, and Devontae Walker in the 4th round. Like, just a lot of talent overall. So we will end it there. Appreciate everyone and anyone watching. And like I said, we'll put out a couple more of these pretty soon. So we'll catch you guys in the next video.